that I had been around the station since like I was 16 years old, I knew how a lot of that stuff worked. So I knew that it was only a meeting to be called or it was only a button to be pushed. I was on hold on. So you mean you guys can play me by myself in all of these times and things like that and help when you guys that pretty much don't know me, but when it's time and everybody actually knows me and I'm finally doing what you guys told me to do, now nobody can play the record. You know what
So
I'm
you're
saying?
there at age 15, 16,
Yeah, 15, 16.
and you already have something. Yeah, so that means were you in '98?
Yeah, about 98. I met DJ Divine
And so what do
in
you?
about
How do you?
98.
You know that was many light years away.
Yeah.
How did you
Many
get
moons.
fucking recording?
I
Because
had,
at that moment, I'm imagining that's a fucking pretty penny, right?
nah. No,
It's
but that
98, bro.
nah, yeah, no, I mean, I would record a lot of stuff on my karaoke machine, I did that and I had a karaoke machine at home I would do that on. Of course, I wanted better quality. So, I was at a pal dance one day
Yeah.
and at this time
Yeah.
at the time I was like, you were talking about 98, right? That's like the biggest year in hip hop. So that's when DJ Clue, I believe it was 98 was it was either 97 or 98 DJ Clue's first album dropped, The Professional. And I always wonder what was up with DJ Clue, like, who is he? If he doesn't rap, then what is he doing? And I learned that he, pretty much is a arranger, producer, things like that. So I'm like, well, somebody can make beats. I knew what a producer was. I grew up in the studio. So I'm looking for a DJ that knew how to make beats and wanted to drop a mixtape like DJ Clues. You know what I'm saying?
So you are actually on a mission. Like this is something you love the art more than you love the lifestyle. That's what it sounds like to me at this moment. Because normal kids that age, like they're not gonna go through step 2, step 3, and it looks like you're truly like
He's like the love of the game.
yeah, you are like whatever
yeah.
it takes, bro. I'm there.
Well, what happens is you put your karaoke machine tape, that the stuff that you recorded in the karaoke machine, you pop that in the tape deck with the females and they let you know off top like that quality sucks. So with your homeboys and shit, you just playing, you just want people to hear it. You pass the tape around at school and stuff like that. When the homies return it, they that's dope. I wanted the females.
The women will tell you the truth.
They tell you the truth. So well, the lyrics
They won't sugarcoat it.
in my opinion, the lyrics were dope, but the quality wasn't much of the type that you would turn up. So of course I
Because you
wanted
probably
that.
would get some like kickback or static or something.
Yeah, man, I
'Cause
got
the
my
karaoke
feelings
machine,
hurt.
you probably get some
I got my
reverb.
feelings hurt so many times around that time. So of course, being at the pal
How
dance,
important is that, dude? Like to eat shit and eat shit early. Because I had a conversation with my son,
Which one?
Jules. Me and him started talking again.
Really? That's
Yeah.
good.
So I told him, I go, you know what? It's on me. I was trying to shade, because the problem that me and him had is I was trying to shade him from the hard work, right? I struggled already, so you don't have to pick a career
And just go for it.
and I got you. Make sure it happens.
Yeah.
But bro, if you're not humping boxes in a you know what I mean?
In a warehouse.
In a warehouse or mowing lawns at 14, 15 or picking up the backyard.
Something. Is he working?
Yeah, he's working now.
What is he doing?
He works. He works at a local grocery chain.
Nice. Good
Yeah.
job. Good. Groceries.
So
dude,
is
that's
that
good.
how important is that, bro? To eat shit. You know what I mean? Early.
it shows you where you are. I'll tell you that much. It wasn't at that time. That didn't impact me as much as it did when I was 18, 19, because at that time I just thought that the females that were saying that, I thought they were haters. So I didn't think any of my shit was whack. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna think it, but then again, that goes into people.
You got that Lou syndrome.
People might have been,
I think Lou's pretty good.
No, Lou's
pushing you, but then it's a necessary evil, because the people that were pushing you and believing in you, you probably would have stopped if it wasn't for them.
Yeah.
So
It goes both ways, because
if they did tell you were whack, you probably would have stopped. But the fact that they didn't tell you, and these females that you don't really know are telling you that you're whack, you kind of like
It pushed you to keep going. It persevered.
you're a hater.
You had some. Yeah. You
my
persevered.
my sister though. She was the biggest
Influence.
critic.
Yeah.
Like she didn't sugarcoat none of it. So she said,
What
was
does that
dope.
look like?
She said it was dope. It was dope. I didn't have to listen to anybody else because she was gonna tell me I needed to go back and write it again.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but I was looking for that, and
You got a good.
One.
You got a good relationship with your sister.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's my homie.
How
I
far?
talk to my sister every day.
How far are you guys? Like old?
Oh, we Irish twins.
Oh shit!
She's
So 10 months or something? 11?
Yeah, she 11 months older.
Yeah, I never heard that term.
Mhm.
Irish. What is it? So like?
Irish twin.
yeah,
She
that whiskey
11
that
months older than me.
No,
We
the
were
Irish
born
just
in
like
the
to
same
fuck.
month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my birthday is May 7th, 82. Hers is May 19th.
I feel like
81.
that's how, me and my sister are like that. We're like homies. We don't really
Yeah.
talk like that much because but there's
Yeah.
because there's a huge age gap because
Uh-huh.
she's 11 years older than me.
Uh-huh.
But that's my ride or die though.
But yeah, that's the homie at the
Yeah.
end of the day. We
Yeah.
have a ton of fallouts, but they last like a day or so.
Sure.
And then it's somebody needs a favor or something. Either I need her or she needs me. But
yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's the next step?
at
after that?
what point?
Like you're you're using this karaoke machine and
Yeah, and I'm doing that. But like I said, I the DJ Clue album pretty much was it for me. So I went to the POW dance unintentionally, running into a DJ. But I was just like, you know what? He got a swag. He's wearing his hat a certain way, and I was like, dang, that's kind of dope. You know what? I'm gonna just holler at him. So I went over there, and I'm like, do you make beats? And he happened to make beats. He was DJ Divine from the
Yeah.
radio station. He said, yeah, I make beats. Why you rap? And I was
DJ
like,
Divine.
yeah. I was like, yeah, I rap. And he was like, how old are you? I said 16. And actually 15 at the time, and he was just like, okay. And then he wrote his number down. You remember we had to write numbers down.
Yeah.
So he wrote his number down, gave it to me. No, he asked for my number. That's what it was. I didn't think he was gonna call, but my mom called me out of my room a couple days later. I think it was a Saturday. She was like, somebody's on the phone, and so I answered the phone, and it was him, and he was just like, yeah. He was like, what are you doing today? And I was just like, I don't know. Mom, we doing anything? And he asked if he can come pick me up. So he pulled up. He met my mom and my grandparents. He a grown dude at the time. He's like probably about 25 or something like that at the time. I don't know. He might have been younger, but I was 15. He was definitely in his 20s.
Yeah.
And
I mean, but back then we didn't really have to worry too much.
nah, I didn't. But he
especially in
did.
Oxnard.
His name was familiar, and everybody listened to the radio at that time, around that time. So he took me to the radio station, actually, and that was my first time recording my stuff like that. Like, I had quality stuff with my dad, you know what I'm saying, at the time, but we had recorded a song or whatever. He gave me that tape, and everywhere I went, I bumped that tape. Then the quality was, bumping.
Well,
You
what
could
about the
turn it all
women
way
at
up.
that moment?
Say it again?
What about the girls at that moment?
It ain't matter
used-
no more. I didn't like them anymore
You fuck 'em?
anyway. Nah. So I started. So what I started doing was I started performing at the rallies at at
School?
Channel Islands. Yeah.
You went to
performed at
CI?
the rally. Well, that year.
Mm.
I only went to school for 1 year in Ventura County. And I went to Channel Islands. I went to Frontier.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I went to Frontier too.
yeah. Yeah.
Rockets.
Yeah.
Bro, no wonder you think you're ugly.
Who,
Because
me?
you went to CI, man.
No.
They're
yeah.
all like Asians over there.
Nah.
You look
no,
like a
not
big
then.
giant of amongst
not
them.
then.
There was a bunch of blind like
Yeah.
Latinas at that point.
Well, it was black people there when I was there. It was they had.
I only remember as Ricky.
No, they had a few. That's how I met Sean Biggs. Sean Biggs was there. You had it was a bunch of black people. It was a nice group. I'm not gonna say it was like 50%, but it was a nice group. It wasn't what I was used to. I grew up in Long Beach, so
Yeah.
like literally like 50 to 60% of the school was black.
What
when
was
I went
your?
to school.
What was the? Why did you have to continuously move around when you were younger?
My parents divorced when I was 9, and they still were trying to figure their life out. So they working through jobs. My mom winded up working the same job from '88 until about 2009 or something like that. But
Wow.
right around before that time, how my dad was working for the same company, and then my mom wanted to leave. She found a position at Toyota. My dad wanted to leave the job, or I don't know what exactly happened with my dad at the job, but I know he left. We moved from Compton to Huntington Beach at the time for like, I think we were there for like 4 months or something like
Is
that.
that a big
You
change?
talk about a culture shock.
I was about to say that's a huge. That's
what
a
I was
huge.
saying, man.
Look,
That's
That's a
dude,
huge
wild.
Oh,
change.
well, look, I was
CPT
in
to
a
Long
hard.
Beach.
No,
Jeez.
look, but what
Or
part of
Huntington
Compton?
Beach?
What part of Compton I was in? We was right on Tejada and Rosecrans, right in the center of Nutty Block Crip. So like, our school was raggedy. You know what I mean? It was just crazy. So going from that, we love it though. We love it. The donut truck pull up, the ice cream truck driving 40 miles an
shit's
hour
dope.
down the street.
Yeah, I
like,
love that.
you know, that was cool, and you know, you learn how to, you know, fight. You get your reps and
You get your
things like
street
that.
smarts in there.
Yeah,
quick.
well, yeah, and it depends on what kind of family you got too. My family was balanced. My dad was like a devout Christian, and
Sure.
but all of his siblings was in the streets. You know what I'm saying?
So you
Except for
picked it up, yeah.
I had one uncle who was in the military, but everybody else was street niggas or street females. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Everybody, cousins, uncles, everybody was in the streets. I had a older cousin named Deidre, and she was with the shit. You know what I mean? Now, not saying that, you know, she didn't take care of us. She looked out, gave us game and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, the environment that she stayed around, it was just like, oh, yeah, you got. So sometimes little kids would come over, or I remember one day we was walking home from school, and this girl wanted to fight my sister, and she made my sister fight the little girl. You know what I'm saying? So you had those in Compton, but then when we go to
Huntington Beach.
yeah, when we go to Huntington Beach, it's literally like,
That's
I
crazy.
think it was me, my sister, and one other black guy at that school that I can remember. She would have to tell you, but I think it was me, her, and one other black guy at that school, and he was super washed. Like, he grew up in Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
But we only stayed there, I think, for the lease or whatever, because we winded up moving back to LA. We moved to I like to call it the Crenshaw area. But it was West LA that we had moved to. And it was, you know, that was, you know, back to the that's when the riots kicked off too. So like it was to the, you know, to the old grind or whatever.
And what do you
all of that.
are you in the culture at this moment? Or are you
What kind of culture?
the hip hop culture?
I was
Or
a
are
fan.
you more? Are you just interested in the music at this time? Like, what is your trajectory to?
My dad was a gospel singer, right? He was in a actually popular group called Brothers in Christ, and my dad had me in the studio at 3, maybe 4 years old, and I'm, you know, him and mom, like I told you, we Irish twins,
Yeah.
so he's not gonna, like, you know, okay, I'm gonna ask you. My mom, I don't think my mom really was like too into, like, dang man, I just had a baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm pregnant again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think she really was like, you know, looking to,
yeah.
you know, you
Bro,
know,
that just
they had to
sucks.
have
You
a-
think about it. It
It's
sucks.
it's
Yeah,
a body
yeah.
traumatizing
Yeah.
experience. It's
She
not
had
easy
to-
to say.
she definitely had to explain to my dad, like, hey, like,
Calm
I
down.
need your help. Or I think he kind of, like, you know, pushed her, like, you know, hey, I got it. Don't worry about it. You know, but you know, I was with my dad, you know, at a young age. You know what I'm saying? I remember being with my dad all the time. He had, you know, men league basketball games, and, you know, I'm there. I remember running out on the court, all that crap. You know what I'm saying? I'm going wherever he goes. I'm even at work with him. I remember being at work with him, being bored as shit, and him putting 2 trash cans, one on this side, one on that side, and then him making a big paper wad and giving it to me, and I'm
just
playing
throw it.
full court basketball
That's-
in the
that's
office.
dope. That's dope.
Just
That's
to occupy me.
Just
You
to
know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
keep your attention, yeah.
Yeah. So I was with my
Imagine
dad.
if that was like 25 years earlier, you get that iPad, bro.
Yeah, I would have been sitting up
You
there
would've
just
been
Fuck
scrolling.
yeah.
Yeah, that's how
Just
my
watching
kids is.
YouTube and whatever.
Naked girl.
No, but that's
I-
but that's
naked
exactly
women.
yeah, but that's exactly what it was for me. So being in the studio, you naturally gain studio etiquette, and this was music. So this is when rap first happened. So I don't know. I just want to be like my dad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what happens? This is what happens. I'm 6 years old. My parents still married at the time. I'm 6 years old in the first grade. My dad brings this guy over. he was in the group, and something happened with the group when my dad left the group. Now this group is a legendary group. Like they're a good group. They traveled. We watched them on BET, all of that stuff, right? So my dad goes solo. He's the lead singer of the group, so he goes solo. Um, what happens? We had this big back house in our house in Compton, and that was my room, but it was his studio room too. So he had everything but a microphone,
Yeah.
So they do right. He had his drum machine. They'd write. They'd play beats. They do all of that. So at this point,
So you're watching that too. You're watching the creation of music. And You're like, I want to do that shit.
So with the group that he was in, they were doing something called gospel funk. So they sounded like the Whispers, but gospel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was that.
Yeah.
My dad's always been the type where he wants to do whatever's hip. He likes to get geared towards the youth. So his music was sounding more like New Jack Swingish. Teddy Riley, he linked up with this guy named Kenny Smith, a producer. They called him the New Jack of Gospel because of Kenny Smith was New Jack. You know what I'm saying? A New Jack Swing. So they called not Kenny Smith. Teddy Riley was. So they called Kenny Smith the New Jack of Gospel because he had all the songs sounding that way. So all the records that they were writing and stuff, he'd make them sound like Guy and all of that, but they were gospel. What did those guys do? Put a rapper on it,
Yeah.
Now at this time, this guy walks in and he's just writing in a paper, and I'm just like, I'm doing my homework, but I'm like, what is he doing? I'm curious, After about 20 minutes, he tells my dad he's ready, and then he just raps to my dad, and I'm sitting up there like,
it's something new, something different.
This is the first time I ever seen somebody rap in person.
Oh fuck!
I had never seen nobody. Shout out to Lewis too. His name is Lewis. My dad been trying to find him for me, because he is the.
What happens if you guys did something together?
That would be dope. But that was the first person that I seen rap in front of me, and from that point on, I wanted to be a rapper. When I seen that, I learned that dude. My dad and them, they went to the studio, recorded it. He came back and played it. I'd steal the tape and play it because my dad would have it in his cassette, in his tape deck in his car. It's mine. I need to learn this rap so I can rap this at school, because at school they've never heard this rap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's a gospel rap, but I don't care. And it was only like 8 bars, but I battled 100 people with that.
Do you remember any part of it?
Yeah, no one stands in the place where the Lord takes control. It just makes the blessing they create. Other people mark. It gets cloudy
Come
around
on,
that.
Let's go.
Other people, I don't know it. I don't know the rest
That
of it,
was
but I
good.
know that.
Hey, that's some Samuel L. Jackson
Yeah.
shit right there.
Yeah,
It sounds like
no one stands in the place where the Lord takes control. It just makes the blessing they create. Other people's fault, the things from the art from the part, give it to us for the keeper of my heart. Or something like that. The song was called
shit.
"Keeper of My Heart." But I learned that rap, took it to school. And everybody, King and rap. I'm first grade. They've never heard this on 92.3 The Beat or Power 106.
So they think it's you.
They think it's me.
And you're getting attention.
And I'm getting attention. I'm in the first grade. So then, you keep going. And actually, no, I'm in the 3rd grade at this point. My bad. The first grade is when their last album dropped. I used to steal my dad's tape when their album dropped, and I'd take it to school. Like, hey, look, where my dad?
Yeah.
but there was that. But I wanted to do it after that. So, you level up. My dad sees that I'm interested into it and how easy it is. He learns that I learn these raps. So instead of calling Lewis, or he would call Lewis and. Hey, and Lewis, I can't do it. Oh, don't worry about it. Hey, King, get ready. You're performing in front of 1,500 people today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like that kind of stuff. But the first time I performed was in front of the church. They put together a group called the God Posse. My cousin Chris and a bunch of friends that we had from church, they put together that. Now, I, of course, rap other people's lyrics, but I knew I had to get ready for that. So my dad actually wrote the first rap that I spit. That was my rap. My dad wrote it for me.
Oh wow!
And
how is your dad in this in your journey? Is he? I mean, it seems like he's very supportive.
Yeah.
Does he ever fall off?
Nah, he's supportive. He's only seen me perform once or twice as far as the secular music. He wasn't necessarily a super fan of me branching out because I was gospel rap until I was about, I'd say 15 when I moved to Oxnard for that year. When I moved to Oxnard for that year, that's when I got into like battle rapping and secular music. That's what you call it. But he wasn't necessarily a super big fan, but he supported me. He ain't hate on it. He just
Is he around still?
he was low key disappointed. Yeah.
Yeah. How are you guys' relationship now?
Oh, my dad, my homeboy. That's my
I can
OG.
imagine.
Yeah, that's my OG. He still teach me a lot.
Tim-
I got
Seems
opinions.
like I wish my dad was my OG.
No, we
I wish my dad
we
loved
have
me.
opinions. Everybody have opinions. It could have went either way.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about your